Hello and welcome back. Hello, Stefan.
Hey, Tommy.
Long time no see at least in that format,
Indeed.
not in Selected Tech. To be open, we saw each other yesterday because we work for the same company, so that's not a big surprise. But back again with another episode of Selected Tech. What are we discussing today, Stefan?
I'd like to demonstrate a tool I developed. It's called Agent Instructor, and
Okay.
it's meant to be a Visual Studio Code extension to, let's say, ease the instruction handling for declarative agents.
Okay. So let's see if I have any questions, but I would say the stage is yours.
Sure.
I changed the layout and you take it
Yep.
away.
Perfect. So as you can see, I'm already within VS Code. And when you actually open up the extension pane, all you need to do is insert agent instructor, and you'll find the extension. And from there, obviously, you can install it. And that's what I'm going to do right away. And while it installs, I'll walk you through what it basically does. So the reason why I developed it was I find it really not hard, but cumbersome to deal with instructions when building declarative agents in a pro-code way. And as you may know, instructions for declarative agents, they basically live in a TXT file. And a TXT file may not be the best suited option for doing all the markup and formatting and stuff. So it could potentially be really hard to come up with a good instruction file, which includes all of the bits and pieces your agent should fulfill. And therefore, agent instructor basically should be a tool which helps you generating the instructions, but also then analyzing the instructions you came up with. So basically what agent instructor does is it has two features as of now. Maybe in the future it will gain more. And the first feature is to analyze instructions. So if you've already built a declarative agent, and if you've already come up with a set of instructions for your agent, you could use the agent instructor extension to analyze the instruction. And what it does is it generates a clarity score. So it basically analyzes your instruction text and checks for clarity. And also it identifies ambiguous phrases. So if you have like a set of ambiguous phrases in your instructions, agent instructor will tell you how to resolve those ambiguous phrases, how to replace them, and it will actually provide you with improvement suggestions, which may be really helpful. So you can use it if you've already built an agent and if you want to analyze the instructions, or on the other hand, if you're building an agent and if you're scaffolding an agent using Teams Toolkit, and we'll see that later on. What Teams Toolkit basically does is it comes with a default instruction file, which more or less is a placeholder in there. And what you can do using Agent Instructor is to come up with, like you see in that short little video here, with a really profound instruction file at no cost. So you basically, like you do interact with Copilot, GitHub Copilot, or M365 Copilot, you give it a prompt, you give it a short description of your agent, and hit go. And Agent Instructor then comes up with really profound instructions file, which you then as well can use to analyze it and improve it using the same extension, basically. So like I said, all you need to do is open up VS Code, install the extension from the extension marketplace, and give it a go. And I've already installed it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new agent using Teams Toolkit. So I'm opening up the Teams Toolkit VS Code extension. And after it's loaded up, I might be able to use or create a new app. And obviously, we'll go for the agent approach. So we'll create a new declarative agent, not a custom engine agent, but a declarative agent. And I'm not going to use any plugins right here because I'm just creating the agent for the sake of the demo. I'll choose a folder where I want to place my agent in. Demo is good. I'll give it a name. The agent should be called TaskBuddy. And now I'm ready to go. And like you see, this is my agent. It comes with an instruction file. The instruction file basically is a txt file along with a set of placeholders. I'll make that a bit taller so you can see it a bit better. And like I said, this is not the instructions I want to have when dealing with my agent, but I want to come up with my own instructions. Before I do that, what I would need to do in the first place, I need to go to the preferences and then select extensions because sorry, nope, that was the wrong thing. Settings, of course, because I need to configure my extension before I might be able to use it. And as you can see here, there's a separate entry for the agent and structure configuration. And what you would need to bring as of now, maybe I'll change that in the future, you would need to bring your own API key. You could pick and choose from either you using a GPT model you host on your Azure subscription, then you need to bring your API key for that one, or you can use the OpenAI API, where you would also need to bring an API key. So you can pick and choose from either OpenAI or Azure hosted OpenAI. And if you go for Azure OpenAI, you would also bring your endpoint URL, which points to your OpenAI subscription. And you can also tweak, let's say, the maximum numbers of tokens you want to use for generating the instructions. So you can go from, let's say, 500 to 4,000. Obviously, the more tokens you use, the more expensive it will get. But you can tweak the numbers. By default, it's 1,000 tokens. Maximum number of tokens doesn't mean that it uses 1,000 tokens, but the maximum number of tokens will be 1,000 limited. And after you've configured it, you can go ahead and use the instruction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. And now if I press Control Shift P on a Windows machine, on Mac, I guess it's Control Command or Shift Command P, it will bring up the extensions pane. And from here, because I've already used it a while ago, there are suggestions for the agent instructor. So if I pick and choose generate instructions right now, all I need to do is I need to bring in a brief description of my agent. Describe the AI agent, its purpose, capabilities, constraints. So all I'm going to do is I'm pasting in a short description. And like you've seen, my agent is called TaskBuddy. So my agent should help the users manage their to-do and planner tasks. Although we're not developing the agent in this video, maybe in one of the next ones. But this is just for the sake of the demonstration that my extension will generate the instructions. So if I hit enter now, what it will do, basically, it will now use my GPT model hosted on my Azure subscription to generate the instructions. And it's running a couple of seconds. And after it's been generating the instructions, what it will do is it will paste the instructions in my instruction.txt file, like you see in here. It comes with a general description. TaskBuddy is an agent who helps users manage their tasks. And these are the instructions for TaskBuddy. User onboarding, profile setup, task management, task querying, display. And don't get me wrong, every one of us, every one of you watching could come up with those 55 lines. but not in a matter of 10 seconds, right? So it's not a big deal to come up with those instructions, but for me it's about ease the process, and that's why I've developed this extension. So if I'm not gonna save it, what I can do as well, because I now have an instruction file, I can go ahead and let's see if it will pick up with the 1,000 tokens. Maybe we'll need to shrink the file, but if I go ahead and again Control-Shift-P and now hit Analyze Instructions, what it will do is it will use the same GPT resource to analyze the instructions. So it basically picks up the whole TXT file, and now I of course need to shrink the window again because my dashboard is not fully responsive. It will pick up the TXT file and the content of that TXT file, and it then will evaluate and analyze the instructions for clarity and for ambiguous phrases and suggestions. So you see, we get a clarity score of 85, which is pretty solid already for the first shot. But you also see there are 7 suggestions where my GPT model thinks that 1 or 2 phrases, or in that case 7 phrases, might be replaced with better options. So you see down here, there's an ambiguous phrase which is provide a tutorial or help guide detailing how to use your features effectively. And give me just a little bit of a second, and I'll zoom in for you so you can see that. And the GPT model actually thinks that this phrase might be replaced with a better phrase where it says, specify the format of the tutorial or help guide, e.g. video, text, interactive for clarity. And the cool thing here is it's not only telling me which phrases are ambiguous and how to replace them, it also offers me the option of applying the correction automatically. So if I now hit apply correction here, I need to confirm that I want to really replace that phrase. But if I do that, the phrase actually will be replaced, and we'll go back and see provide a tutorial. I'll just copy and paste that phrase, and if I now search for it, it offers me no results because it has been replaced already. If I do Control-C, you see this is the phrase, and if I do redo, it actually replaces that phrase with specify the format of the tutorial or help guide. So you see, it's not about doing copy and paste stuff manually, but it's about automating the process or giving the developers some sort of automation possibilities and ease the process of dealing with the instructions, come up with new instructions, analyze the instructions, improve the instructions, so that at the end of the use of the extension, you will have a pretty solid instruction file. One thing to mention though is this extension only works for the file which is named after instruction.txt. So if I go ahead and create another one and I just call it instructions, so plural, and if I now go ahead and say generate instructions, it will say please open instruction.txt before generating the instructions. So make sure that you're within the instruction.txt file and you're using the correct file and not something else. And I know that you can use also markdown files for, let's say, generating the instructions and dealing with the formatting, because markdown has a pretty solid formatting options in there, and that's one thing I'm looking for to improve within the extension at a later version, so you can not only use the instruction.txt file, but maybe also the instruction.md file or what have you. But that's basically, let's say, the first minor version of the extension I wanted to publish it out to give folks a go, and then work from on their feedback and improve the extension basically. So that's basically it for this version as of now.
Very, very cool. Very impressive. Of course, I have a couple of questions and yeah, ideas, additions, whatever you want to call them. I've not seen the a demo of that before, so it's really the the first time we two have a deeper discussion on that topic. So people will see now how we think and how we operate. Regarding the LLM support, so to recap, what you created basically is that you created an extension that reaches out to a large language model to help me analyze and generate my own instructions for my declarative agent.
Yeah.
First thing, you have a configuration for an API key, and I can change between OpenAI and
Azure.
Azure OpenAI. Any idea of maybe supporting also Olama and local models?
Yeah.
So I
It's
think you would need an endpoint in the config, and then because it's just another API, Olama when it's run locally.
yeah.
So you thought of that already?
Interestingly enough, when I published it,
Yeah.
Waldek, one of the dev advocates, reached out to me, and this was the first suggestion
Yeah.
of him to also have it run locally, because then it's at no cost actually, and
Yeah.
you can use whatever LLM or SLM you'd like, run it locally on your machine. So that's also one of the things I'm looking into in the future. And I actually already have a GitHub issue for that one.
Okay.
So maybe I'll pick it up in the next few days.
Because with the local one, you could even maybe yeah, fine-tune your approach and add a custom rug pattern to
Definitely.
build on top of existing instructions and that kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
otherwise you're always limited to the token window, how
Yeah.
many existing content you can provide.
Yeah.
I guess there are, of course, in your extension somewhere there must be like system prompts or base prompts that you use. Are they open? Can I change them? Can I see them? Or do you think of
Not
them like
yet.
this is the holy bits and no one should see them?
No, not yet. But I'm also planning to include them in the instruction setting. So you can basically bring your own
You
system
can
prompt
change
or
that.
whatever you like. Yeah.
And just when you I know it's just the demo case that you showed today with like creating an instruction by AI and then analyze that same instruction. And I don't know what would be a good score for clarity, but what about tweaking that prompt in that way that it only will give back a prompt that has a certain clarity score, so that you
Yeah.
never, from AI, you will never get something back with, I don't know, 50 or 40 or just like
Yeah.
above 90 to make that like this feedback loop already in the prompt. I don't know if you already done that.
My system prompt, my system message actually contains something like, make sure that the instructions you generate are clear enough,
Okay.
and revise them for clarity and stuff like that. But like you see, these are the instructions it generated, and still there are 7 suggested replacements in there.
Yeah.
So it's not pitch perfect.
Staying on that screen and apply all button would be great here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everything at once, because let's face it, that's what people most of the time will do. So
Yeah.
AI suggesting, okay, take everything and you're good to go. And
Yeah.
more from an, I don't know if it is even possible, but your extension now either works on complete existing set of instruction and analyzes that and gives me feedback on that and makes that better. That's the one use case. Or it helps me with creating based on an initial prompt you provide in the tool area, and then it reached out for a couple of seconds and came back with this, what was it, 54, 55 lines of instructions. Is there any option in, and then I really don't know if Visual Studio extensions, Visual Studio Code extensions allow you to do that, like a tap experience that it can provide instructions and on a more like a sentence level based, like GitHub Copilot does. So it's like, okay, you start your instruction and it's just like, okay, tap, and the next one.
Yeah. You could also do things like mark an area.
Yeah.
And then hit do right click, and then
okay,
that's not supported by my extension as of now.
Yeah.
But you could say improve that, or add more clarity to that, or add more details, or let's say add a new area, whatever. Or like you said, come up with the whole file, but not replace the current instruction with the generated instruction, but let's say, like you said, yes, confirm, or skip certain areas. That's also possible.
Because that's at least my understanding from where some of those AI tools are heading. It's more an immersive experience in the sense of you start something to write and the thing comes up and say, hey, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Why not change that paragraph to this one and this one and this one? Instead of going in there and saying, I start with a prompt and then I fine tune or I change whatever result I got back. More like, okay, I don't need to think about the prompt. I don't need to think about the tool to go there. So it's like, okay, tap. It's just making suggestions on the fly for a more focused workflow, for not the need of going out somewhere and think, okay, I need a prompt now. And I don't know if it's already possible technically or easily
should be
doable
doable
in Visual Studio extensions.
Because GitHub Copilot also does it. So there needs to be an extension point for that.
It needs to be a way, but you never know how easy that is, because probably the people that create the Copilot extension, or hopefully they have more time to invest in the tooling compared to you. Okay. Very, very cool. One thing I also thought about is like a way to use, and that maybe changes the dynamic or the whole area of the extension, a way to store this instruction in a central place. So the next time I open up a new agent, I can open up the extension and see my old instructions in one place. That could be interesting, I think. And that could be like something like in preparation of maybe having a bigger token window, so I can loop in example instructions.
Yeah.
That worked good.
Yeah.
That is like always because what let's face it, what are you doing? You're opening up a new project and have opened like 4 others for reference.
Yeah.
And you could easily, you would need of course a place to store it. I don't know if you can store something in an extension locally, because it's just a couple line of texts, or does it need to be in the cloud somewhere? But that would be an idea to, okay, this instruction is good. I want to take it and store it somewhere for reference, and it's just through the extension, not through myself creating something like a library of best of instructions.
Yeah. Yeah, would make sense. Not sure if you can store files, but text shouldn't be a problem, because the config is also stored locally.
Yeah, it's just text, right? It's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't add other parts in there, or not yet. Very cool. Okay. So
like I said,
you actively work on that and there's a GitHub. Maybe if you open up the
There's
GitHub
so
repo.
if you go to the marketplace on VS Code site, you can first of all install it, obviously, but you also get to my repo, and from there, if there's any wishes, feedback, issues, just open up a new issue in the GitHub repo, and let's take it from there. Or if you have like improvements to make, feel free to do a pull request, and we'll get that merged in there. So it should be community project, shouldn't be me, myself, and I. So only working on that project. So if anyone wants to improve it, please feel free to do so.
Very cool. Very cool. And you already have contributions, I see.
Yeah, that's
both
my alter ego.
both
I don't
you.
know
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
But my machine picked up my old GitHub account instead of my current one.
Okay. Gotcha. Perfect. Then thank you very much for the demo and that overview. Impressive tooling, and let's see what brings or what the future brings for in terms of features and requests, and hopefully helping hands in making them possible.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Thanks, Stefan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.